Thank you for joining us for the EUMENIA closing conference. For the ones who might not know it, EUMENIA in Greek means goodwill and favorably disposed attitude towards someone or something. This is the essence of our network, and it's what has guided our work in the last 4 years. EUMENIA is a Jean-Monnet network co-funded by the Erasmus Plus program of the European Union for a duration of 3 years initially, but we made them 4. It is led by myself and the University of Amsterdam and encompasses 7 more institutions, namely the University of Peloponnese in Greece, Istituto Affari Internazionali in Italy, Roskilde University in Denmark, Birzeit University in Palestine, Yassar University in Turkey, American University of Beirut in Lebanon, and the University of Jordan in Jordan. With EUMENIA, we achieved 3 interlinked objectives following up a bottom-up approach. Firstly, EUMENIA brought scholars into different classrooms of European and Middle Eastern universities, thus fostering exchanges between academics but also students. Secondly, it facilitated cooperation with civil society stakeholders. And thirdly, it engaged with national and EU policymakers through different public events and online platforms, which contributed to the dissemination of this knowledge and deepening of the understanding of this complex relationship. At the end of 2018, we started this common intellectual journey together, but the pandemic soon hit us. Although a lot of our activities were cancelled, we did not give up, despite the many challenges we faced, and we tried to adapt to new realities, and we made the most out of it. Our driving force was the determination to continue this journey, to continue this partnership, to continue these exchanges. Throughout our activities, we managed to bring people closer, even in those 2 years when all of us felt quite isolated. A number of webinars have been held involving key policymakers and distinguished academics, all of them available on our YouTube channel. We have also organized national events, thus targeting specifically different national policymakers, civil society, academics, and NGOs. We produced several policy briefs on different aspects related to EU-Middle East relations, all of them published by our partner, Istituto Affari Internazionali. Academic working papers have also been published by the University of Peloponnese. All of our partners have visited each other's institutions and have delivered guest lectures and teaching in different European and Middle Eastern universities. With this by far being one of the most rewarding experiences, both for us, but also for our students. We learned from each other, we exchanged different views, we had different arguments, and we were enlightened by our colleagues and our students. Not only did we exchange knowledge, but we also produced knowledge. An example of this is the Routledge Handbook of EU-Middle East Relations, co-edited by Michel Patz, Daniela Huber, and myself. The handbook brought together almost 60 academics and policymakers who have written 41 chapters. And it is the first of its kind and offers original reflections on historical constructions, theoretical approaches, multilateralism and geopolitical perspectives, contemporary issues, peace, security and conflict, and development, economics, trade, and societal issues. It has already been endorsed, among others, by Dr. Hanan Ashrawi, distinguished Palestinian leader, and Ms. Federica Mogherini, Rector of the College of Europe and former EU High Representative for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy. For more details about all of the work we have done, please visit our website, eumenia.eu, visit our Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube pages as well. We are quite old, so we don't have Instagram. Apologies for that. Today we're here at the University of Amsterdam for our closing conference. Despite last-minute cancellations related to travel arrangements, visas, COVID, and broader health issues, all of us, we are really happy to be able to come together in real life. I do not want to take longer, but I do want to thank a number of people and institutions before closing this speech. First of all, the European Commission and the Erasmus Plus program for co-financing EUMENIA. Secondly, all of our EUMENIA partners, Beste Ischlegen, Michel Patz, Daniela Huber, Andrea Desi, Nikolos Zifakis, Ioannis Galariotis, Maria Yannou, Eileen Guney, Emre Sherry, Gokai Ozerim, Lourdes Habash, Karim Makdisi, and Wissam Hazimeh. Thank you all for your hard work. Shukran, teseküler. A special thanks also goes to Rowan Dunn and Hiner Daniel Freck for all their support with the handbook. Deborah Del Piano also deserves a special mention, as in the last year she has provided instrumental help with all EUMENIA-related activities. A big thank you also goes to our all-female advisory board, Munever Tsebetsi, Tamira Asfakhuri, and Federica Bicchi. Also, thank you to Amsterdam Center for European Studies for its continued support with EUMENIA and our activities, and to Marie Coffey and Maria Kurpa for all their help in organizing this conference. Finally, a big thank you goes to Francesca Albanese, Sven Koopmans, and Mark Herritzen for being with us today and kicking off our conference with speeches and interventions related to the United Nations, EU, and Dutch roles in the Palestinian question, one of the most important issues pertaining to international politics. Last but not least, our gratitude also goes to all of our students, past, present, and future, for the numerous discussions, interactions, and exchanges of views within our classrooms. I would like to close this speech with a quote from Mazen Alfil, an international acclaimed artist who allowed us to use his beautiful art for our cover for our handbook. And I quote, "Within its painting, there are colors of values, a collage of discourses and anarchy, yet there is one color that creates harmony. This color is a relationship. Let EUMENIA guide this relationship." Thank you all for your attention. I would like to introduce briefly our three speakers before sitting there. I guess you are bored listening to my voice. But I would first like to start with Ms. Francesca Albanese, who is the UN Special Rapporteur on the situation of human rights in the Palestinian territory, occupied since 1967. Francesca is also an affiliate scholar at the Institute for the Study of International Migration at Georgetown University, and also a senior advisor on migration and forced displacement for the think tank Arab Renaissance for Democracy and Development, where she also co-founded the Global Network on the Question of Palestine, a coalition of renowned professionals and scholars engaged on Israel-Palestine. She has published widely on the legal situation in Israel and Palestine. Her latest book, Palestinian Refugees in International Law, was published by Oxford University Press in 2020, and it offers a comprehensive legal analysis on the situation of Palestinian refugees from its origins to modern-day reality. She has worked for over a decade as a human rights expert for the United Nations, including the Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights and Relief Work Agency for Palestine refugees. In these capacities, she has advised the United Nations, governments and civil society across the Middle East and North Africa and the Asia Pacific on the enforcement of human rights norms, especially for vulnerable groups, including refugees and migrants. She holds a law degree with honors from the University of Pisa and an LLM in human rights from the University of London, SOAS. She's currently also completing her PhD in international refugee law. here at the Amsterdam University Law Faculty. Thank you for being with us, Francesca, and for delivering the keynote speech. I would also like to introduce Ambassador Sven Koopmans, who is joining us on Zoom from Ramallah, actually. Thank you for making the time to join us. Ambassador Koopmans is the EU Special Representative for the Middle East peace process. He's in charge with providing an active contribution to the final settlement of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict based on a two-state solution. He reports directly to the High Representative Borrell on this issue and maintains an overview of all EU regional activities linked to the so-called Middle East peace process. Between 2017 and 2021, Mr. Koopmans was a member of parliament in the Netherlands, and he also served as the governing party's spokesperson on foreign affairs. Prior, he was political and legal advisor in peace and mediation processes under the auspices of the EU, the UN, and other international organizations, including in Cyprus, Kosovo, Mali, Sudan, Syria, among others. His book, Negotiating Peace, A Guide to the Practice, Politics and Law of International Mediation, was published by Oxford University Press in 2018. He has also taught peace negotiation at the universities of Leiden and Aix-Marseille III. Thank you, Sven, for joining us on Zoom. And last but definitely not least, Mr. Mark Herritzen, who is the Director of the North Africa and Middle East Department at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in The Hague. He's a career diplomat with extensive experience abroad in Ramallah, Rome, and Tokyo, among others. At headquarters, he has served as Director of Policy Planning and as Deputy Director of the organization of the Nuclear Security Summit 2014 in The Hague. He has also worked in the Prime Minister's office in The Hague as an advisor on international and EU affairs and as a secretary to the Council of Ministers. Mark Herritzen holds a master's in history from the University of Groningen, and he has also studied in Chicago, Paris, and Cairo. Thank you for being with us today. Thanks to all three of you. I think I took much more time than I intended to, so I don't want to have further delays, and I would like to give the floor to Francesca Albanese for the keynote speech. Thank you.